Hello, 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 hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, so these messages are going to be for Life Path 3. Happy New Year, Life Path 3. I hope you guys are doing okay. Well, and with your life path, right, you like to collect a lot of information, right? You kind of like the investigative reporters of things, right? It's about the more you know, right? All right, so we're gonna see exactly what we got going on. If you need to calculate your life path number, you add up all the numbers to your birthday. The sum total that's going to be, if it's two different numbers, you add those together and then you get your life path number. If it's two of the numbers that are the same, such as 11, 22, or 33, you do not reduce it or take another sum from it. All right. All right, so not all readings are going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right. Ooh, life path 3. All right, so right off the bat, it's about thief. Okay. Is This thief card's been coming out quite a bit. It's given about stealing, destiny swapping, and that's what I'm getting from this right now. Okay, life path 3. Pay attention because the irony that comes into place with destiny swapping is a person may not know what you went through to get what you got. So when people do the destiny swapping situation, it be unnecessary. It really really is. Primarily because you don't know what all that destiny really entails. That's that part. The other portion of it is overall essence of poverty. What this is giving is not only what it is to be poor financially, but poor spiritually or not have enough information. That's what would make you feel like you are in poverty, like path 3. You don't have all of the information. So we got thief, and all of these came in reverse. And I turned all these cards in the upright, like path 3. I promise you I did. I made sure I did. But they came out, and if you're an alchemist, right, it's going to be about what will be coming in. So be mindful of that, okay? So you got distant horizons, wealthy man, lovers, main male. Looks like you got two. For some, this is going to be literally two different men coming in. For others, it's going to be about two masculine women, okay? And the judgments it is that will be made in regards to this. Judgments or at the courthouse. So you got to pay attention to that and what it is to be, what constitutes as a thief. In this depiction of the thief, right? It's a 2 and a 4, so it's going to be about the stability and practicality of what it is that's anchored or known and stable. Okay, meaning nailed down is kind of what I'm getting from it. So pay that some attention. I just heard something about it's in the grit, it's in the crit. Is this talking about Big Crit? That's a rapper. I like it. I think I know one of his songs. In any event, let's kick a little bit into this. Let's get some tarot to see what's going on. I'm making an offer. I'm making an offer, not being fruitful, and not having movement. One of the things it is that's coming into place with this Life Path 3, this is going to be talking about last year during Venus retrograde. That would have been like in March, middle of March into April. Okay? And how a person wouldn't have been able to have movement then. That would have been all in your power. 444, Life Path 3. That would have been in your power. I'm saying it because it stayed in my hand. And it would have been about a humanitarian perspective that would have come into place with it. and there being one looking on the inside with this hermit on the with this hermit as the overall essence, it's gonna be talking about that Virgo essence. A lot of people like to look at Virgo essence and make their judgments or their criticisms or their critiques. But when it's all said and done, Virgos have the Virgo essence is about projects, right? Projects, getting things done. That is essentially what it's about. And you got to look inside yourself to see exactly what it is that would need to be done. Meaning, you have to examine your spirit, life path 3, especially when it comes to this Aries essence, what it is to be in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Say it again louder. I'm in charge. Right? From off of Hustle and Flow. If you're not a movie buff, you're not going to get that reference. But in any event, what it is to be in charge. All right? 555 when I said that with this Aries essence. And what it is you were thinking in regards to what was going on in your heart and the seeds that would have been planted in your heart about what goes on the spiritual path when you looking inside yourself. I feel it necessary to use this particular parable. It's a Buddhist story, right? There was this gentleman, right, who claimed that he was the absolute best, right? He was the best monk, priest, priestess, all this, right? He goes on his hermit's journey, okay? And he goes up into the mountains. He does all this studying and all this other stuff. He has this one other person with him. Within him having this one other person with him, this person is witnessing his spiritual growth. Okay? As he is witnessing his spiritual growth, what takes place is the person who's going through all these ascensions or whatever, what have you, supposedly, he sends a letter back down to the monastery that he left. When he sends that letter back to the monastery that he left, he's telling them all this other stuff that was going on and how amazing he is and whatever, what have you. Well, the head of the monastery sends him back a letter that says fart, 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 fart. Right? That's all that the letter said. It just kept saying fart over again. When he got the message and he's up in the mountain on his hermit shit, right? He sees the message and it's saying is fart, and he gets upset. He gets so mad, pissed off, okay? So very upset. What ends up happening is he comes down off of his mountain. 747 when I say that. He comes down off of his mountain to go and address the head of the monastery. The head of the monastery listens to him fuss, complain, bicker, all this other stuff, right? And his response, the head of the monastery's response to this person in this supposed hermit essence is, for you to be so powerful, all it took to get you off of your mountain is a few farts. In short, the lesson in that life path 3 is you don't let nobody take you off your journey. You don't let nobody take you out of your space. That's how they steal it from you. It's an exchange of power situation that comes into place to, with, and for you. Knowledge is power for you. Life path 3. So it's always about the more you know. A lot of people may not like when you ask a whole lot of questions, but it's good for you to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, you don't get the answer, right? Okay. So even in regards to this Aries and what it is to think with one's head and not one's heart. Some of the things I also feel inclined to say, since we're talking about body parts, pay attention to what's going on in your heart chakra. Pay attention to what's going on in your I want to say crown chakra, but I'm also preempted to say third eye chakra. If you clear out your third eye chakra, that automatically assists with literally everything else, because it's one of those higher up chakras. And even with that overall essence of hermit, being in a hermit mode, you got to make sure you clearing things out and clearing yourself out. That would explain the whole poverty aspect, because you can't focus on the things you have around you. and if things around you have been stolen, and that's what puts you in poverty. That's something completely different. Makes it different if thing say what you have to. It makes it different if you got a lot of shit that's stolen from you, or all your things are stolen from you, versus you giving it away. So yeah, because that's kind of, this life path 3. If you have any bearing or understanding of biblical text, is kind of what that's given, because I'm seeing the parable with the uh, camel through a needle. It's easier to give things away than to have them taken from you. And even along the hermit's path, if you give it away or you leave it in a particular space, it's always a little bit better for you, opposed to someone taking, or opposed to the universe having to take it from you. Because with that Venus retrograde, what it's given is that you wouldn't, in these situations, and even if you are a part of the community and you missed out on two different opportunities with people, 1111, when I said that you missed out on two different opportunities with people, it would have been because of the ideology of having to protect the staff and the land. So that's kind of giving the grid worker, and then there being this courthouse situation. What? You know what? That's not my business. Life path 3, you need to figure this out, especially with that whole courthouse situation. Meaning there's some judgments that would have came into place in regards to how stable you are and what it is that you personally know. Okay, and one not being in conflict, and how you wouldn't have shifted your inspiration, how you wouldn't have changed things. Life path 3, I'm not even gonna lie. Me just looking in on this, I feel a type of way. I'm hoping that this is gonna turn out to be, like some clothes or some Neptune um film and fashion stuff. That's what I'm hoping. It's giving Mercury, but we not gonna go there. Oh, and if there would have been mercury poisoning, if you've been eating a lot of fish, if you're pescatarian, pay attention to that too. You got to really pay attention to what you would be putting in your body, because that can make your head hurt a lot if you eat a lot of fish and there was some mercury in it. A few years ago, and it happens on cycle, that certain foods get, because of the change in climate, they have to shift and change, and certain foods or would be naturally more poisonous. Okay, so temperance, overall essence of being an alchemist, angel, teacher, nurse, doctor, all these varying aspects. But it's the what I'm getting from this is you need to look up the word temperance as a virtue, because it's given that you're studying the virtues, and there being indecision in the negativity and indirectness. And then one not recognizing, one loving themselves, not having an inheritance, and not communicating. Okay, so one of the things it is that's coming into place with this Life Path 3 is when you wouldn't have recognized what would have gone on over the course of a month, and what would have gone on with how you feel about yourself when you don't have certain things. Life Path 3, your worth is not necessarily connected to your finances. I feel it's important for me to say that. All right, let's get you a couple wisdoms. And then after we get these wisdoms, then we can go on. We can move to the next space. All right. Oh. All right. So the influence of Scorpio, Pluto, shedding atmosphere. Life Path 3, did you shed your atmosphere? That's going to be what's important. You got the dragon, power, and strength. Yeah, you need to step into your power. Life Path 3 is kind of what this is giving, especially with things not being about creative projects. And it's giving a block sacral chakra as well. So what you want to pay attention to with that creativity, if you're living in a fear-based mindset, or if you are truly are you creating out of fear, or are you creating and collecting information out of fear, or are you creating and collecting information out of inspiration? Especially if you don't want to recognize that a person would love themselves. or that you love yourself. And what do you love about yourself? Life path 3, that's really what that's giving. Ah, yeah, because what I'm seeing from this is there being the self sabotage with one not being afraid. You should be afraid. Self sabotage, poverty consciousness. I knew that this was going to come out. This poverty consciousness card was about to come out. I know it was because all of this is given. Self sabotage, especially if you stealing from something or someone, that definitely is a self sabotage and poverty consciousness. Because whatever you do, whatever you put out is what's gonna come back. And then one not being afraid and being unfair. In short, the self sabotage that comes with being unfair and unbalanced and unjust and not being able to hit the mark. Okay? So hopefully that helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that will be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so at lightwork.llc at gmail.com. Okay? Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It is not light work. Okay, pay attention to what it is that would have taken, what you didn't recognize about loving yourself or others, or what would have taken place over the course of a month 10 years ago too. Okay, uh, like path 3. All right, and then that way you can stay light while you work.